The following is a live special presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and/or future. Do you remember as a kid on that magical night in the summer, on a Tuesday night in July, when the All-Star game came on? And it was your one chance to see all of your heroes in the same place, unless you were a Yankee fan, then it was all the time. And you'd be so excited, and you pestered your mom to the point where she threatened to send you to bed before the game started. That was me. And one year it did happen, but I did get to see the first two innings. So yes, it is that magic time of the summer, the Midsummer Classic, the All-Star Game, as we hit the halfway point of the 1985 season. Hello, my name is Ron Juckett, and I have no idea what we're doing the rest of the week because I believe my wife has kidnapped me several times between now and Sunday. Well, tomorrow and Sunday, and so we'll do something tomorrow. I have no idea what we're doing. We'll do something Sunday. I have no idea what but Friday and Saturday, I think, are out the window. Anyway, welcome to our coverage of the 1985 All-Star Game from Minneapolis, Minnesota, where the stars of the American League will go against the stars of the National League. And for those of you looking for Dodger Palooza, I don't think this is it. The Dodgers don't have one position player selected for the All-Star Game. Believe it or not. In fact, as we hit the All-Star break, would you believe that only 4 starters on both teams are on first place clubs? Believe it or not. We have the real first place teams at the end of the 85 season leading at the break. The Dodgers, the Cardinals, who lead by 13.5, the Blue Jays, and the Royals. And we have 2 American League starters from first place teams, George Brett and Dave Stieb, and 2 National League starters on first place teams, Willie McGee and John Tudor. But anyway, regardless of that, I think we are in for an exciting evening of baseball. And because it's an all-star game, when we get to the right time, you guys will get to make some decisions. So settle in. It's time for the All-Star Game right here on Retro Sports Network. As Retro Sports Network proudly presents the 1985 All-Star Game, live from the Hubert Horatio Humphrey Metrodome, it is the stars of the American League playing the stars of the National League. And tonight's game is brought to you exclusively by Digital Dice Podcast and DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports and simulation and replay needs. You'd think after 1,000 of these I'd know how to do the spiel by now. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so D. Scott Howard and Zalapsky Smurf, how are you? Welcome to the program. So we got ourselves a dandy. You'd rather be relaxing by the cement pond? I think Ellie Mae's a bit old for you. So it's a packed house here at the Metrodome. Dave Stieb will give you his numbers in a moment. But let's meet the starters for the All-Star Game. Leading off for the National League is one Willie McGee in center field. Gary Carter has done good things in his first year in New York with the Mets. He'll bat second. This lineup is just beyond loaded. And, of course, he is catching. Mike Schmidt will play first. I don't know why they didn't put him at third, but they want him at first, and so that's where we'll play him. He's having a monster year, and he'll hit third. American League Park, we play with a DH, and Dale Murphy gets the honors tonight from the Atlanta Braves. He cleans up. Tim Wallach will play third and bat fifth for the National League. Ryan Sandberg from the Cubs will bat sixth. The Cobra, Dave Parker, and you'll see when we get to him, he'll bat seventh and play right field. Jose Cruz gets the call on left field. He'll bat eighth for the National League from the Houston Astros. The Montreal Expos get a starter in the All-Star game. Hubie Brooks, he is the shortstop. And the all-world John Tudor gets the call for the National League. Oh, because of his knees? Okay. So John Tudor in his 1.50 ERA will get around 9 batters as a starter from the National League. Dave Steve has had a monster year. He is 12-5 with a 2.48 ERA. He only won 14 games in real life, but ERA trumps a lot of things, and the Blue Jays, of course, are in first. How you doing, Mike from the truck? Steve, 12-5, 20 games started, 8 complete games, which matches his real life total, an ERA at 2.48. He's 28 years old, a fastball pitcher at 90 and a ground ball pitcher. He'll also go the prerequisite 9 batters. Bert Blyleven should be the number 2 pitcher out of the American League. 156 in the third innings, 115 hits, 8 homers, 66 walks, 49 runs, 43 earned, and 106 strikeouts. And so with all that, let's go. Willie McGee at 358. 6 homers and 42 RBI. Defensively for the American League, Phil Bradley a 6 and a 4 in left. Ricky Henderson a 7 and an 8 in center. Dave Winfield an 8 and an 8 in right. Mr. May, my left foot. George Brett playing for the Bun is a 7 at third. Cal Ripken Jr. is a 7 at short. Lou Whitaker from the Tigers an 8 at second. And Eddie Murray an 8 at first. Carlton Fisk at 17 gazillion years old, a 7 and a 5 behind the plate. And Steve, a 7 on the mound with a 946 fielding percentage. Wallach won the Gold Glove. And Schmidt came back at 80 and 86 at third because the Rick Shue experiment didn't work. And he won the MVP, including getting his Gold Glove back. Wallach, an incredibly underrated third baseman, by the way. So finally we get going. McGee takes strike 3 right down Broadway, and that's how this All-Star game starts. 3 pitches, and Steve got them all. Gary Carter. That picture, I believe, is on the box of Fleer from 86 or 87. For Carter, 291, 16 homers, 50 RBI, and an OPS at 854. Whitaker, remember his proper yes, I believe so. So Steve winds and deals. Carter hits a ground ball to first. Murray, well, it's strike 3. I take that back. Fisk dropped it. Carter scampers to first, and the throw to Murray has 2 out. You'd think after enough of these games, I'd know how the chalkboard works. So a great start for Steve, 2 strikeouts, and here's Mike Schmidt, 275, 22 homers. That leads the National League, 49 RBI. Steve struck him out. How about that? That's 2 Hall of Famers, a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good night. What a start for Dave Stieb. Down goes the National League in order. We go to the bottom of the first as John Tudor takes his warm-up tosses. The National League, nothing. Here comes the American League as soon as I hit the space bar. And so here's how they'll line up. Ricky Henderson in center field leads off, looking resplendent in his Yankee jersey. They hadn't moved George Brett to first yet, so he's at third from the Kansas City Royals. Eddie Murray at first from the Baltimore Orioles. He'll bat third. And would you believe, not only do the Seattle Mariners have a starter in the All-Star game, but Phil Bradley will clean up in left field. Jim Rice, the DH, my favorite player of all time. He's obviously from the Boston Red Sox. Cal Ripken is at short. He will bat 6th. Yes, this is the 1985 All-Star Game. Dave Winfield in right from the New York Yankees will bat 7th. Carlton Fisk behind the plate goes 8th. Lou Winnegar, who's wearing the right jersey, looks like he could be in Magnum PI with that look, will bat 9th and play 2nd. And someone who had a 1-2-3 strikeout, 10-pitch top of the first, Dave Stieb on the mound for the American League. Tudor makes Dwight Gooden look pedestrian so far in this replay. In 19 starts, he is 15-2 with an earned run average of 1.5. Holy Bob Gibson, Batman. He's got 5 shutouts in 12 complete games. In 162 and a third innings, he's allowed 115 hits, 7 homers, 31 runs, 27 earned. He's walked 28 while striking out 102. His whip is 881 and his average allowed is 199. The former Red Sox pitcher, 31 years old, a fastball, ground ball plus pitcher at 85. Defensively for the National League, Jose Cruz, a 6 and a 7 and left. Willie McGee, an 8 and a 7 in center. Dave Parker, a 3 and a 5 in right. Parker, of course, probably the highlight of his career was being the right fielder for the National League in the All-Star Game in Seattle and just throwing out every runner in sight. Tim Wallach, a 9 at third. Hubie Brooks, so 2 Expos in the starter lineup, a 4 at short. Ryan Sandberg, a 5 at second. Mike Schmidt, a 4 at first. Gary Carter, a 9 and a 6 behind the plate. And Tudor, a 7 on the mound with a .955 fielding percentage. Bradley was the M's All-Star rep in 85 in real life. But not only does he get the start, he cleans up. Ricky Henderson at .323, 15 homers and 44 RBI. Tudor starts the bottom of the first with ball 4. Mr. Howard was at the 79 All-Star game and was down. He's probably going to steal here. Here's George Brett, .337, 20 homers, with only 48 RBI for the first place Kansas City Royals. Tudor throws to first. Ricky knows not to go, and now they'll just kind of hold him. So lefty versus lefty, only 2 lefties in the lineup for the American League, Brett and Whittaker. George swings, base hit, right field. Parker picks it up. Ricky will not go to third. By the way, the managers for this game, as Eddie Murray steps in, Eddie at .282, 19 homers and 65 RBI. Dick Williams runs the show for the National League. I'll be making substitutions. while Sparky Anderson is the American League manager from the Detroit Tigers. Pitch to Murray. There's a ground ball to third. Wallach starts it up. Sandberg for 1. Over to Schmidt for 2. And so around the horn they go. 5-4-3. 2 out. Henderson moves to third. And here is Phil Bradley at 313. 19 homers, which is how you get to, and 72, 72 RBI. That's how you clean up in an all-star game. Breakout year for Phil. Imagine if Alvin Davis and Bradley could have continued producing with the emergence of Griffey a few years later. They'd still be playing at the Kingdom, I would think, midlife crisis. Tudor trying to get out of the first. Bradley hits a ground ball. Brooks on the dirt, throws to first, and that will retire the side. American League gets a hit and leaves a runner on. They cannot score. We go to the second in Minneapolis. No score. So Murph gets the DH role. By the way, 28 active players on both rosters. The National League, by the way, does not have a reliever. They're all starters. The American League shows Ken Dixon and Willie Hernandez. So these are all computer picks. I put them in a lineup, but I did not select anybody. Yeah, Jamie, so do I. After a softball game. The debutante party of the Metrodome. Unless you're Tony Dorsett and a Dallas Cowboy fan. Murph at 287, also tied for the National League lead in homers with 22, and he has driven in 61. Steve starts the second, fly ball left field, back goes Bradley. He'll make the catch on the track, 1 out. And I'll bring up Wallach. Tim at 290, 17 homers. How you doing, Big Dave? And 54 RBI. Rangers baseball fan, by the way, our latest follower here. We now have 226. And I promise those who sub that we'll be doing more streams. We'll be doing something tomorrow and Sunday, because I think my Friday and Saturday have been taken by family, and that's exactly okay. Pitch to Wallach. There's a long drive to left, and it's 1-0 National League. So Ron Say, who is the other National League third baseman, leads the cheers in the dugout as Wallach smashes a line drive to left to make it 1-0. That was a laser shot over the plexiglass. So after striking out 2 Hall of Famers in a row in the first inning, Steve is down 1-0 here in the second. Here's Ryan Sandberg, 290, 7 homers, and 43 RBI. Mr. Howard would know, but if Midlife Crisis remembers correctly, a big deal was made of the Mariners being at 500 at the latest point of any season, maybe mid-June or so. That division was weak, not to take anything away from Seattle. We actually featured Seattle on it in a game stream at home. But Kansas City won it in the last couple weeks of the season, barely over 500. Pitch to Sandberg. Rhino punches out one past Whittaker for a single. So Ricky Henderson will throw that back in. And that brings up Dave Parker. Dave at 292, 14 homers and 67 RBI. Yes, Seattle did get off to a good start in this replay. Really, the Twins of all teams really are the only team in the American League West that don't have a shot. Although Kansas City and California are in pretty good shape. So Sandberg, the threat to steal, throw to first. And Sandberg, yeah, he's going to take his 30th here, I would assume. From the stretch, there goes Rhino, the throw down to Cal, and Rhino has the steal. So Dick Williams playing small ball here and a 1-strike count to Parker. He's on second. Steve from the stretch. Parker in the shallow left. Bradley coming in. He'll ride the Schwinn and make the catch for the out. Sandberg tags and throws to third. The throw from Bradley is not in time. No one was ever going to confuse Phil Bradley for Dave Parker. So Sandberg pretty much steals third. Here's Jose Cruz, the Astro left fielder, at 306. 7 homers and 36 RBI. 2 out. Ground ball up the middle. Whitaker over to Murray, and that will retire the side. However, the solo shot from Tim Wallach puts the National League on the board. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0. So Rice, Ripken, and Winfield to face Tudor. Jim End at 274, 18 homers, and 64 RBI. Oakland kind of hanging in there, along with Chicago and Seattle. If they could somehow keep it up, they might give California and Kansas City a scare. I don't think I can show you. No, it's just going to show you the all-star teams, because it's a special folder. Tudor starts the second with a ground ball to Sandberg. Rhino throws to first for the out. Yeah, Sutton did never unpacked his bags too long. It wasn't until 1991 that Jim Lefebvre got Seattle over them. Here's Cal, 293, 14 homers, and 51 RBI. Tudor's pitch up the middle, and that's going to get past Sandberg, and that'll drop in front of McGee for a single. Cal isn't going anywhere. 1 out for Winfield. Dave at 274, 14 homers, and 61 RBI. By the way, Picklewick Girl will be signing autographs in the mezzanine during the course of the game. She is wearing a lovely all-star ensemble of stars and stripes. And for a $5 donation and a big old glass of milk, she'll autograph pretty much whatever you'd like. Pitch to Winfield. Dave hits a high fly ball to left. Back goes Cruz, way back, and it's 2-1 American League. So Winfield parks that one into left center. And Tudor and his 1.50 ERA, doesn't matter in this one. Winfield crushed it. So somebody got a souvenir. Nice to see a picture of the Metrodome with people in it. That's true. We know she's not on because Mr. Gardner is here. Sutton, yeah, was very outspoken. He actually did a couple weeks of Match Game at one point. And I think, much to his detriment, was considered a compiler with numbers. Although I think if you look at his peak, he certainly had a Hall of Fame peak. Speaking of people that kept a Hall of Fame peak for a long time, here's Carlton Fisk. 249, 20 homers, and 54 RBI. John Tudor, yep. Tudor, of course, from Schenectady, New York. And, of course, came up with the Red Sox. And one of the writers from the Boston Press said about John Tudor, he has all the personality of a Massachusetts state trooper. I'll take their word for it. Sutton had a nice career after the Dodgers. I think they would have been better, DJ John, how are you, if he'd stayed in Los Angeles. But he was a big part of the Brewers in 82, the Astros in 80 and 81. Pitched for the Angels in 86, so it wasn't like he picked bad teams to pitch for. Pudge swings, and there's a ground ball to short. Brooks across the way for the out. And Fisk would never admit this, but he's from Vermont. 2 out for Lou Whitaker. Sweet Lou at 277, 15 homers, and 47 RBI. So a new pitcher for the National League in the third. And we'll let Steve pitch to Brooks before we yank him. Pitch to Lou. Fly ball left field. Cruz coming in, and he will make the catch. But the 2-run homer by Dave Winfield, Mr. May no more. On 2 hits and no errors, we go to the third, 2-1 American League. So the last batter for Steve is Hubie Brooks. Hubie at 258, 7 homers and 32 RBI. Now, he was part of that big deal with the Mets that sent Gary Carter to New York and Hubie to Montreal. And considering they're both starting the All-Star game, you'd say at least for 1985, that was a good deal for both teams. Carter, of course, would make a name in New York and be a big, big part of that World Series team in '86. Pitch to Hubie. Struck him out. That's 4 for Steve. And so Dave's final numbers, 35 pitches, 2 in the third innings, 2 hits, the home run to Wallach. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. And so we're going to go with Bert Blyleven, who was 13-5 for the Cleveland Indians, an earned run average of 248, 174 innings. Remember, he'll be pitching in this ballpark an awful lot in the near future as he's headed to Minneapolis. 121 hits, 8 homers. He walked 56 and struck out 126. He's 34 years old, by the way. A fastball pitcher at 87. And a ground ball pitcher. Yeah, Sutton picked good teams, unlike Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey is such a sad case. He was so good, but apparently he hated every minute of it. Or wasn't sober for any minute of it either. Blyleven, by the way, a 4 on the mound. Yep, Hubie being featured on This Week in Baseball because of such a great start he had in '85. We're going to give these starters 2 batters 2 times through the lineup. McGee was one of many Yankee farm hands at the time, traded off quickly to St. Louis. Who'd they get for him? He struck out to start the ball game. In the right, Winfield has it for the out. 2 away for Gary Carter. Gary struck out his first time up. Blyleven rocks and deals, and Carter gets hit. I shut off injuries. So Carter got hit in the ribs, and then I'll bring up Schmidt, who struck out in the first. Go to an all-star game and you get plunked by a pitch. That's not going to feel very good. Pitch to Schmidt. Sharp grounder to third. Right to his counterpart, Brett, over to first, and that will retire the side. National League. No runs, no hits, a hit batsman. They leave their second runner on. Bottom 3, 2-1 AL. Bob Sykes, who never played in Major League Baseball. So says Jamie. So out comes out comes John Tudor. We do have 2 Dodger starters that can go. We're going to go with Oral Herscheiser by the cement pond. Herscheiser third. Oh, I thought he did, but he didn't play very long. That size. Herscheiser having a first half. and 18 starts, 13 and 4, with an earned run average of 303 and 136 and 2/3 innings. He's allowed 99 hits, 52 runs, 46 earned, 7 homers. He's walked 40 and struck out 91. Fernando Valenzuela is the other Dodger representative. Bob Sykes pitched for the Tigers in the 70s. So here's Ricky. Ricky walked his first time up. Herscheiser starts his outing with a ground ball past a diving Sandberg in for a base hit. So we'll see if Herscheiser throws to first. Yeah, he did. Sykes did pitch for St. Louis. Wasn't as good as Willie McGee, but he did pitch. An image of a baseball card with Sykes in a Cardinal uniform. Here's George Brett. Singled his first time up. Herscheiser with a big hold on Henderson. Goes to the plate. There's a swing and bunt. Ground ball to second. Sandberg throws to Schmidt, and Brett is out. Oh, by an eyelash. So 1 out. Henderson on second for Eddie Murray, who's humming "Take Me Home Tonight." Pitch to Murray. There's a ground ball to third. Wallach across the way. 2 out. By the way, we taped Digital Dice. Henderson, by the way, on his way to third. And talked about the honeymoon period for games. So, listen to that if you haven't already. Here's Bradley. He's 0 for 1, 2 out. And Henderson on third. Herscheiser deals. And there's a ground ball to Wallach over to Schmidt. And that will retire the side. American League gets a hit and leaves a runner on. We go to the fourth. 2-1 AL. You know you grew up in the VHS era, Jamie says, and he's absolutely right. When you say you taped a show, actually, goes back to the reel-to-reel thing. That's how shows were taped on radio. Dave and I are radio people, but yet outside of the equipment, there's no radio tape to go. Here's Murph. Murph is 0 for 1. We'll give Blyleven a second inning here. Pitch from Burt. There's a ground ball to third. Brett has to have it. He gets it over to first, and Murph's retired. Glad you liked it, John. Here's Wallach. Timmy with a solo shot in the second, the lone run for the National League. Burt winds and deals. Ground ball to Ripken. Over to Murray. 2 out. I am as back to normal as I could be, John. Thanks for asking. 2 weeks of missed streams with COVID, and then last week was the first game I did, I was pretty beat at the end of it. Actually, my lungs kind of hurt at the end of it. So I didn't do anything on Wednesday. Thursday, I felt better, and we taped today because I was supposed to do golf this week, but family is calling on a couple times over the next 4 days, so it's kind of catch as catch can. But thanks for asking. Are you back to work yet, John? Rhino, by the way, singled and stole a base. In the second, it's a ground ball to third. Second verse, same as the first. 2 out. And so we'll give Herscheiser a second inning. He'll face Rice, Ripken, and Winfield. Jim Ed is 0 for 1. Line drive to Sandberg, 1 out. Obviously no standings that we can show you. I honestly was making those slides for the pregame till about 5 after 8. It took an hour to do that. I forget how long it takes to play with PowerPoint. Here's Cal. Cal has a single and a run scored. He scored on the Winfield homer in the second. In the right field, Parker rides the Schwinn. Makes the catch. Brings up Winfield. Dave, a 2-run shot. Scored along with Ripken. Back to work. Well, I haven't been on all that much. We did the 2 games last week. And next week will be a normal baseball week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday action as we get the second half of the season underway. Winfield struck him out. So Herscheiser did okay. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 5th, and now we're going to see some 1-inning pitchers. Through 4, 2-1 American League. So Blyleven has done his 2. Who do we want to see here? I'll let you guys take a look. We want to save Hernandez for later. But beyond that, talk me into who you want to see. Charlie Huff, the Lone Rangers representative. Alexander from the Blue Jays. Petrie from Detroit. Mike Moore from Seattle. I got a pitcher in there. Ken Dixon, the reliever from the Orioles. Well, Ken Boyd from the Red Sox. And Ron Guidry, of course, from the Yankees. JT Dutch, I'm doing fine, thanks. Anybody care who I throw in for the American League? Going once. Going twice. Actually, you know what? We'll go with Guidry with Parker and Cruz up. So it's going to be the Gator getting his 1 inning in. 10-8 on the replay. A 3.44 ERA. 149 in the 3rd innings. 155 hits. 66 runs. 57 earned. 14 homers. Walked 30 and struck out 84. Guidry 22-6 and 85. Kind of the swan song of his career at 35 years old. Fastball pitcher at 83. And a fly ball pitcher. And then we'll start making some subs for the National League after these 3 batters. So Parker, 0 for 1. Fly ball right field to his counterpart Winfield. 1 out. Here's Cruz. Jose at 0 for 1. It's what you'd expect in an all-star game. A well-pitched ball in the left center. Back goes Ricky. Back he goes, but will make the catch. 2 out for Hubie Brooks. Hubie struck out. He's 0 for 1. Guidry winds and delivers, and there's a ground ball to Whittaker, who makes a fantastic play over to Murray, and that will retire the side. So Guidry gets a clean 5th. Halfway home, hey, you get a commercial. Then we'll tell you what happened right after this. Soon as I see where the ad is. So if you joined us late, well, first I got to do something else. I forgot, because it's a slideshow day. So don't look. A Retro Sports Network proudly presents the 1985 All-Star Game. Tonight, live from the Hubert Horatio Humphrey Metrodome. Don't say that 5 times fast. The Stars of the American League hosting the Stars of the National League. And as always, Tonight's game brought to you exclusively by DigitalAdice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So if you joined us late, here's how we got here. It's been 2 home runs. Tim Wallach, a solo shot in the top of the second, and Dave Winfield with a 2-run shot in the bottom of the second. Tudor and Herscheiser pitched very well. Steed went 2 1/3 for the American League, struck out 4, including Carter and Schmidt, and Blyleven and Guidry, as of course it's an all-star game. You go to the pens. So out comes Herscheiser. In comes Dwight Gooden for his inning. You would think with a 10-6 record and an earned run average of 184 that you would be a cinch for the Cy Young. But no. That's John Tudor. Gooden, in 20 starts, has thrown 161 and a 2/3 innings, 114 hits, 37 runs, 33 earned. He's walked 45, and the doctor has struck out 145. Yeah, we really enjoyed having that author on to talk about the 1899 Spiders. And it's inspired some of you to actually go out and buy that season and play it. So good for Dave for bringing him on, and that was so much fun. So it'll be Fisk, Whittaker, and then we'll see. Carlton is 0 for 1. So we set the National League back to the computer. Pitch to Fisk. There's a liner in the right that's going to drop in front of Parker, and that's a single. Brings up Lou, who's 0 for 1. Yeah, and Jamie says his talk about the team was great, and he was also interesting as someone who plays these games, too. I thought he would have brought that up earlier. We knew that he was a game player. Dave was the one that did the original conversation with him. And then we did it with me coming off of COVID. I'm not stealing Carlton Fisk. But I honestly thought he would have tried to tie that in more. A great guess. Throw to first. Fisk isn't going in. Really? He stole 8 bases? Oh, we got it, all right. Don't you think? There goes Fisk. Carter throws down to Brooks, and the ageless Fisk is caught stealing. Of course he is. That's a sucker bet. That's like taking Tiger Woods this weekend at the PGA at 22 to 1. That's a sucker bet. So Fisk will laugh that one off. Yeah, he stole 17 in the actual season. La Russa's last year, right? After Dave introduced the book on his channel, John says I looked up the author and found an interview he did on YouTube. Then 2 days later, Dave announced that we were going to have him on. Yeah, it really was a great guest. We must have talked to him for a good half hour after we shut off the live portion. What a fascinating man. Pitch to Whittaker. Lou strikes out, so Gooden got Whittaker on an 0-2 fastball at 94. And Tony moved on to Oakland in 86 after Hawk Harrelson fired him in Chicago. Or, as Hawk would say, he gone. So let's see. In come the pinch hitters, and it'll be Lloyd Mosby. Lloyd at 267, 12 homers, and 55 RBI. I think he did a replay of the 1899 season. I think in his own game. 19-8, I think, is what he's doing now. And very methodical. He's doing one league at a time. There's quite a few people in the community that really specialize in that dead ball era. Pitch to Mosby. There's a little looper that's going to get down in front of Parker. So Mosby's on with a single. Brett 1 for 2. We'll bring in Wade Boggs from the Red Sox. Wade at .350. 6 homers and 35 RBI. 2 out here in the 5th. Throw to first, Mosby back. No, I'm not getting another runner thrown out. You'd think, the way that Gooden couldn't hold on a runner, that he was really easy to steal on, and as were most of the Mets pitchers not named Bobby Ojeda. But I'm not going to have 2 thrown out trying to steal. Pitch to ball, throw back to first. They're daring me to do it. They're daring me to do it. Well, fine, Dwight. If that's what you want, hit and run is on. There goes Mosby, and Boggs puts that one in the gap in right center. McGee doesn't play it very well. Mosby rounds third and scores, and Wade Boggs has himself an RBI double. And it's 3-1 American League. How about that? So on the hit and run, Boggs does his job. In comes Billy Buckner from the Red Sox. Billy at .314, 18 homers, and 64 RBI. The Red Sox, at least in the replay, have overachieved. It's the Yankees that should be giving the Blue Jays fits. A 5-team race in the American League East. Pitch to Buckner. There goes Boggs. Ground ball to short. Brooks throws it over to Schmidt. And is Buckner going to beat that out? No. Out on the bang banger. Now we got some subs to make. We go to the 6th. The American League adds a run on 3 hits and no errors. It's 3-1 American League. So the new pitcher is going to be Charlie Huff of the Texas Rangers. Charlie, another Dodger alumni, as they all sit by the cement pond. 13-5 on the replay and a 2.43 ERA. Charlie not a spring chicken, and he'd pitch a while longer. He's 37, a knuckleball pitcher. In 170 2/3 innings in 21 starts, 118 hits, 55 runs, 46 earned, 11 homers, 63 walks, and 97 strikeouts. Well, Murphy started the game. He's 0 for 2. So we're going to start to make some subs now for the National League. We're going to do them en masse. I want you to see how I did this, too. Don't normally put in the, we got the logo. So you see the road logo for the Twins. And of course, since it's Dick Williams and it's 1985, you get the Padres uniform as well. So let's get these all done. Ooh, I have no other center fielder. I honestly don't have another center fielder. They're all in the game. So, and I can't use Dale Murphy as the center fielder because he's the DH. So Willie McGee gets to stay in the ball game. Oh, I can't do it yet. I was trying to do it all at once. So there you go. Willie gets to stay in. And we'll trust myself not to do any real strategy here. Willie is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Fly ball, left field. Bradley, still in the ball game, makes the catch. So Mosby a 5 and a 4 in center. Boggs a 5 at third. And Buckner a 5 at first. And now we'll bring out Carter and bring in Jody Davis. Jody at 251, 11 homers, and 29 RBI. One out, top the sixth, 3-1 American League. Davis hits a base hit into right field. And so Winfield will pick it up. And Davis has the third National League hit. Here's Schmidt. I'm sorry. They're going to call him back. Here's Keith Hernandez, because you have other people you can put in as a DH. Hernandez at 307, 8 homers and 42 RBI. Ideally, I should have put Garvey in as a DH or something like that. But because Murph had 22 homers, he deserved the start. Davis on first. Puff deals. There's a line drive to Whittaker, and Davis goes back to first. 2 out for Murph, who gets a good hand as Steve Garvey comes in from the Padres. Steve at 309, 9 homers, and 56 RBI. So 2 out for Davis. We'll get Clark in there. Try my best to get everybody at least one at bat. Yeah, I boo-booed with that, JT. Gave you Garvey's numbers. Davis leads off at first. That's into right center field. Mosby going way back there. And Garvey has tied it. No, it's high off the wall. That's high off the wall. Davis will round third and score. And Garvey has made it a 3-2 game. So a double, a 2-out double, and the 1974 Co-All-Star Game MVP has done it again. Yet, of course, Garvey comes through. It is the All-Star Game, after all. And a drive home. Garvey is a tying run, as Ron say. The former Dodger, current Chicago Cub at 262, 20 homers, and 54 RBI. So 2 out here in the top of the 6th. And Charlie Huff has been rough. Pitch to Say. There's a fly ball to left. Bradley has all sorts of room by the bullpens and makes the catch to retire the side. However, the National League, as the Dodgers Alumni Association comes through, 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. Bottom of the 6th here at the Dome, 3-2 American League. So Say at third, he's a 4. Hernandez an 8 at first. Jody Davis a 6 and a 7 behind the plate. Let's get the rest of these in because I can do that now defensively. George Foster. Well, bat 8th. He's a 3 and a 4 and a left. McGee's got to stay in. Glenn Wilson, a 7 and a 10 and right. He'll bat 7th. Dave Concepcion is the new shortstop for the National League. He's a 6. He'll bat in Hubie Brooks' spot. And the Pittsburgh Pirates lone representative, Johnny Ray, in at second. So we've gotten the National League bench in, and we got some pinch hitters as we go along. Gooden's not going to stay in. It's righty. Who knows, because they're going to change some things around here. But they're going to face the Ryan Express. Nolan 10-5 with a 2.94 ERA. 140 and 2/3 innings, 117 hits. 5 homers, he's walked 51 and struck out 128. Going 38 years old, fastball pitcher at 93, and a ground ball pitcher. And we can set the National League back. Computer run, Phil Bradley. George Bell will pinch hit from the Blue Jays. George at 271, 17 homers, and 62 RBI. American League 3, National League 2. Hope you're enjoying this as we start the bottom of the 6th. Ryan to Bell. Ball 4. So Bell trots to first. Full count fastball outside and high. Rice's day is done. So Steve Balboni will come in to be the DH. Talk about Fisher cut bait hitter. Steve at 248, 19 homers, and 55 RBI. Throw to first. Bell with good speed is back. Ryan goes to Balboni. Popped up. Left side, Shea into foul territory, gonna run, well, he's gonna run halfway to Young America, Minnesota, but it's a foul ball. The Metrodome did something one year that I don't think will ever happen again. A confluence of events so amazing. It is unlikely ever to be repeated. You care to guess what the Metrodome did that no other stadium has done in the same 12-month period? Pitch to Balboni. There's a base hit in the left field. Foster will pick it up. And Bell is not going to go to third. So that's the 8th hit for the American League. Cal, 1 for 2, will come out. Oh, no, I have another shortstop. So Cal gets to play in the game. Did I burn my shortstop? No. Of course, this was the type in Cal's career where he didn't even miss an inning, let alone a game. Everyone's Googling for the question. Ground ball to Shea. Ron goes to Johnny Ray for 1, and that's it. Ray, by the way, is 6. The throw to Hernandez is late, so it's a fielder's choice. 1 out, runners on the corners. Bell and Ripken. Harold Baines to pinch hit. 319, 13 homers, and 61 RBI. 1 out, 3-2 American League, runners on the corners. Ryan winds and deals, and that gets past Davis. Bell will score. Ripken goes to second, and the American League gets an insurance run on a wild pitch. So it's 4-2. Ryan a little jacked up. Maybe he needs to take a couple more Advil. The 2-1 to Baines. Struck him out. 2-2 fastball called strike 3. Lance Parrish will hit for Carlton Fisk. Lance at 247, 13 homers and 51 RBI. So 2 out, run in here in the bottom of the 6th, 4-2 American League. Pitch from Parrish, struck him out. So that's Ryan's inning, but the American League getting insurance run. We go to the 7th, 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. American League is left on 4. They lead 4-2. So Bell a 5 and a 5 and left. No Barfield. Baines a 5 and an 8 and right. Parrish a 6 and a 6 at behind the plate. Frank White comes in to play second. And I want to get in Mike Moore. So the other Seattle Mariner on the All-Star team is Mike Moore. 8 and 6, a 2.58 ERA, 146 innings, 131 hits, 13 homers, 31 walks, and 90 strikeouts. 26 years old, a fastball pitcher at 88. And a ground ball pitcher. If you were watching RJL's playoff game, or if that's still going on, today's his birthday, by the way. So happy birthday, RJL Network. Johnny Ray at 309. 4 homers and 33 RBI. So we got everybody in. Ray hits a ground ball to White. Over to Buckner for the out. So to reset the defense for you, Bell a 5 and a 5 and left. Mosby a 5 and a 4 in center. Baines a 5 and an 8 in right. Wade Boggs a 5 at third. Cal Ripken a 7 at short. Frank White an 8 at second. Bill Buckner a 5 at first. Lance Parrish a 6 and a 6 behind the plate. And Moore is a 7 on the mound with a 970 fielding percentage. Hey, the Phillies have an all-star representative. Glenn Wilson, 279, 10 homers, and 50 RBI. Ground ball to Buckner for the out. Brings up George Foster. George at 280, 16 homers, and 45 RBI. Almost stretch time in a good one here. 4-2 American League. Pitch to George into left or right center. Rather, Mosby runs back. Stretch time 4-2. And somehow I forgot when I changed the pitcher that it knocked off the stretch. I forgot about Schmidt. You're absolutely right. I forgot about Schmidt. I was still thrown off from the fact that he was playing first instead of third. So Fernando Valenzuela gets the 7th for the National League. 19 games, 11 and 7 the record. A 2.29 ERA, a 1.143 WHIP, 149 and 2/3 innings, 110 hits, 49 runs, 38 earned, 4 homers, 61 walks, and 130 strikeouts. Scroogey pitcher at 90, and a ground ball pitcher. And I completely forgot that Mike Schmidt started. Sylvie White, Mosby, and Boggs. Fernando, the lone lefty for the National League. White at 265, 12 homers, and 50 RBI. I forgot that the 85 Royals actually had some power. Fernando winds and deals, and there's a ground ball to Concepcion. Throws to first for the out. So yes, I I forgot. I just seeing if you were still awake. I did forget about Schmidt. How you doing, Mr. Boogie Whip, Steeler fan? Mosby singled and scored in the 6th. Fernando winds and deals. Ground ball to Say. Ron's got to hurry on the bang banger. Hernandez is steady, and that's an out. So let's set the National League defense for you. Foster a 3 and a 4 in left. McGee an 8 and a 7 in center. Wilson is a 7 and 10 in right from the Phils. Say a 4 for the Cubs at third. Concepcion a 6 at short for the Reds. Poor old Johnny Ray. He's a 6 at second from the Pirates. Steeler fan, thanks for the sub, my friend. Hernandez an 8 at first from the Mets. Jody Davis a 6 and a 7 from the Cubs behind the plate. And Fernando is a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Boggs, a double, 1 for 1 and an RBI. Dave, I think, is back from his draft. Pitch to Boggs. Ground ball past Ray, a little blooper in the center, and that's a hit. We are back to about 100%, and Boggs is going for second as I'm blabbing away because McGee got a bad jump on it. And Wade has a double. He's 2 for 2. Brings up Buckner. Bill is 0 for 1. So I asked you earlier, what crazy thing did the Metrodome do in 1 year, and not the roof caving in, that no other stadium has ever done or probably will ever do? It happened in 1991. I'll give you that hint. Pitch to Buckner. There's a fly ball to left. Foster going back. George will make the catch. And that will retire the side. So the American League gets no runs, no 1 hit, and no errors. They leave a runner on. We go to the 8th. They still lead 4-2. So who do you want to see pitch? I want to leave Hernandez for the 9th. So Petrie, Alexander, Dixon, or Oilcam? We'll give you a minute, and I'll take a drink. Going once. Going twice. The trash bags were certainly there by 91. JT Dutch trying to tell you, you can pick the next NL pitcher. Boyd. See, Boyd has a worse. She's in the mezzanine, Dave, signing autographs. $5 gets it where you'd like it. So here's Ocam Boyd. 12 and 4 for the Red Sox with an in-run average of 363. 168 and 2/3, 164 hits, 23 homers, 44 walks, and 99 strikeouts. And, yeah, Zalapsky Smurf has it. The World Series, the Super Bowl between, well, the World Series was the Braves and the Twins, the Super Bowl between the Bills and the Redskins, and the Final Four, all in 1 year, and all on one network. It was all on CBS. The Can is 26 years old, a fastball pitcher, 87, and a standard pitcher. And we gave you the rest of those numbers. Great to see Dave Concepcion. Concepcion is 37 years old, but Elmer has earned a spot in the All-Star game. 256, 5 homers, and 32 RBI. So Pete Rose's team had 2 representatives tonight, because I've made that mistake before. Dave Parker and Dave Concepcion. Pitch to Concepcion. There's a line drive to White for the out. The can is a reverse platoon guy. And so McGee, well, the computer determines that, not me. McGee is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He's a designated, I have no one else to play in the position, so you're playing the whole game guy. He drags one down. Parrish picks it up, throws to White covering. McGee's fast, but he's not that fast. 2 out. Here's Jody Davis. Jody has a single and a run scored. 1 for 1, 2 out. Ground ball to White. Over to Buckner, and that will retire the side. So a clean inning for Boyd. Fernando has done his inning. All right, Mr. Dutch, who are we taking? Second year in a row, the National League didn't take any relievers. You got Cox, Eckersley, who would be my pick, Andujar, Lamar Hoyt from the Padres, and Rick Mailer. You'd like to see Mr. Eckersley. I think that's an excellent choice. Eckersley has done yeoman's work. An earned run average of 208. Ignore the 6-5 record. 17 starts, 138 in the third innings, 110 hits, 12 homers. He's walked 10 and struck out 99. So his ERA is a full run under real life. 31 years old. Fly ball pitcher, fastball pitcher, 85. And I've used all my pinch hitters, so it'll be Bell, Balboni, and Ripken. And I'll probably pinch, well, I got to get Clark in the ninth somewhere. Hoyt started the game in real life. I thought he struggled with the Padres. He hasn't pitched all that well in the replay. They didn't start Gooden, or did Gooden pitch on Sunday or something stupid like that? Pitch to Bell. George strikes out. A 2-2 on the inside corner, and now I'll bring up Balboni, who's 1 for 1. Eck winds and deals, and there's a line drive to Say. So 2 out. Dick Williams used the entire Padre roster. Here's Cal. Designated, you're going to play the whole game, Ripken. 1 for 3. He has singled and scored a run. Eckersley, of course, will fit. Unless the National League scored 2 in the top of the inning. Would have thrown the ninth. But he's still a starter at this point. Eck winds and deals. Ground ball up the middle. Concepcion over to first. And that will retire the side. So, it'll be, no, it won't be Boyd. It's Willie Hernandez. And just to show that I actually did the right thing, we showed you the Padre uniform for the National League. There's the Tiger uniform for Sparky in the American League. And we've used almost all the position players. You want me to pinch hit for... Yeah, we'll pinch hit for Keith. So here it is. Jack Clark. Clark at 278, 11 homers and 50 RBI. So we've used every position player. How about that? Hernandez, 21 saves, 3-1 with a 1.63 ERA coming off his Cy Young and the MVP year. 55 in the third innings, 45 homers, 45 hits, 3 homers. He's walked 8 and struck out 43. 31 years old, a fastball pitcher and a fly ball pitcher. at 87. Yeah, Hoyt fell off the wagon hard. Absolutely hard. So Clark, Garvey, and Say to try to keep this game going. And I thought I changed it. Clark hits a fly ball to center. Mosby going back. 1 out. So here's Garvey. Doubled home a run in the 6th. We'll have some football for you tomorrow. The golf will have to wait because I've been summoned to do family stuff. Pitch to Garvey. There's a ground ball to Buckner. He'll underhand it to Hernandez, and there's 2 out. So last chance saloon is Ron Say. Ronnie is 0 for 1. The American League, 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 5 left on. The National League, 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. And they've left on 3. So a well-pitched ball game for sure. Pitch to Say, and there's a ground ball to Boggs. And the American League has won the All-Star game. And so, American League fans, once again, your long national nightmare is over. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the American League. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the National League. John Tudor gets settled with a loss. That doesn't seem very fair in an all-star game. Bert Blyleven gets the win. They said it took 2 hours and 16 minutes to play. And the bullpen just, look at that. The American League bullpen just allowed 2 hits. Charlie Huff, the only blemish. So I got to pick an MVP, huh? We're going to go with Dave Winfield. His 2-run homer in the 2nd was enough. As the American League went ahead 2-1, a lead they would not relinquish. Take that, George Steinbrenner. So Bert Blyleven gets the win. John Tudor gets the loss. Honors to Timmy Wallach hitting a home run. And no, actually, the home field advantage in 85 would go to the American League. Congratulations, JT Dutch. Kansas City agrees with that. The Astros should join the AL. So I hope you enjoyed this as we leave it up there for another second or so. I know that's hard to read. Well, thanks for being here on a Wednesday night, past my bedtime at 9:30. So once again, the final score, the American League 4, the National League 2. We will be back for baseball on Tuesday to play the games after the All-Star break. How about that? Always good to have you guys all here. Tomorrow we're going to do some football, and I'll figure out a time to do the golf. We got behind because I had COVID. The final score, as we say goodnight from the Metrodome, the American League 4, the National League 2. This is Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, or future, and home, of course, sometime in the next 2 or 3 months, to the American League Championship Series, the National League Championship Series, and the World Series. And don't forget, this is the first year we go best of 7 in the Championship Series. From all of us at Retro Sports Network, including the cat asleep in my lap, good night, everybody.